check. We not take back no chest. You pep talk. Tiggity check. Hey girl, let's lay the shot. We know say Wilder, you don't want the drama. When Tyson rise up the llama, say to pray at night with your father. He that thing by him out from the corner. You, me know say you're gonna rematch on, you know say you're gonna. Bad man, you run your mouth karma. When the then contract expire, maybe it's time to retire.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing on that. But Vitali was, furthermore. And, they did run it together. It was almost like I'm a martial art artist, and I'm also a martial art fan. So are you familiar with Jet Li?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you remember
champion for from the 90s,
right?
And
now,
an action star.
Yeah, absolutely, action. Yep, karate, or should I say, martial arts superstar. Now,
he's Wing Chun. He's Wing Chun guy.
Wing Chun guy. Now listen, did you see Kiss of the Dragon?
Yes, sir. Bridget Fonda.
Yep, Jane Fonda. Yep, never heard of it. I'm sure you haven't.
Yeah, Jane Fonda's daughter, right? Or is it niece?
No, Jane Fonda. No, it was Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda is the mom. Or the old
Jane
lady.
Fonda.
Bridget Fonda's the young one.
Bridget Fonda. There you go.
Yes, Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget Fonda. Yeah. You said Jane Fonda. You threw me off. It's Bridget Fonda. Yeah, redhead. Now, do you remember when Jet Li fought the smaller guy? Remember he fought the twin. It was like he had a twin. He had one smaller twin and one bigger twin. And he fought them both in that like hallway or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. In the cubicles, the cubicle scene.
Right, no cubicles. Yeah. So that's exactly what Vladimir and Vitali reminded me of. That's what immediately I thought of.
Hang on, Kurt. You see Jim Brown? Ain't he always on your chats?
Yeah.
Jim Brown, he's got to go because I've been debating. It's like, is this the same Jim Brown? He keeps rude, keep talking down to her dumb ass. He's been saying rude things throughout the whole chat. And I'm thinking, this could never be the same Jim Brown that holds a wrench on your show, right? Doesn't he hold a wrench? Does he hold a wrench?
I'm not looking. Let me see.
Yeah. So Jim Brown, when you see me on Counterpunch Boxing News, don't ever fucking message me at all, you fucking dickhead. Now you are blocked, you fool. Because everything, I've seen it from the beginning of the chat, you've been rude. And we're always on Kurt's chats and you're never rude. You want to come on here and be consistently rude. We'll see if you'll have your little spanner in the morning. Bye, Jim.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't know if that was the same one or not.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen him the whole way through. First of all, he held me up, and then he started to be rude, and I was like, "Okay, Jim Brown, it's you." Yeah, rude. But go ahead. Sorry, guys.
No, but that's actually a good comparison because you fought one year, you had to fight the other one.
Like I said, it wasn't. It was literally the way that he was moved, right? So, to me, Vladimir Klitschko did not face the best available. That's it. There was better guys that he could have fought. I mean, he was fine. Like he avenged one of the losses that his brother had, but his brother was literally like, to me, he was beating the crap out of Chris Bird. And he got a shoulder injury or hand injury. I don't remember which one it was. I mean, the Klitschko brothers had a problem punching down. You can hear the thing. Whatever. I'm not even going to the technical part of it.
Who is your favorite fighter, Smoke?
Right now, yes. Right now, Terrence Bud Crawford.
Okay. Interesante. Okay, I like Bud as well. Cool. Sorry, just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
That's it. Go ahead.
That's my pound number one guy. He did. Hopefully, he can get some better fights. Shut up all the noise. Up his negotiating power so we can get that fight. But or if both guys say they don't give a damn and fight anyway.
Yeah, it's looking bad over there.
But I actually don't favor my favorite guy in that fight against Spence. I don't think he actually beats Spence, but I think he beats everybody but Spence.
Really?
Who's your favorite guy?
Bud.
Bud.
Oh, you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his. What out of every weight cat? He's your favorite fighter.
Yeah. That's my favorite active fighter right now. I think that guy is the most skilled fighter in the world. In boxing, that's what's up. He just doesn't have the mass to get past. Like Spence is a little bit too big and too good at what he does, and it's kind of a style issue. But
I think he stopped Spence, but in my opinion. But I was trying to say the other day, I think it was made today. I was saying that Bud is small, and everyone's like, "No, he's quite a big one." Like, no, Spence is a big welter, but Bud's small. I was like, how many weight classes can you see him? Like, he's already. I think he's already stretched at 147. So they said maybe you can get to 154. That would be a mad stretch, maybe.
Yeah, you'd have to cherry pick. He's like Canelo at light heavy. Yeah. Like he can't really like just work his way through light heavy. You got to take like really key fights at key moments in order to compete in that division. I think that's the same thing for Crawford at 154.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't see Canelo fighting no one like Deville. You know what I mean? That would just be too.
No, just like run the gauntlet. Not even just Deville, right? But just try to run the gauntlet, get through the Joe Smiths, through the all those dudes are just big. The body jag, whatever.
Yeah, those guys are pretty tough, man. And then they're big, and then they're good. They're good technical fighters.
That's just it. Spence does everything behind the jab. Terrence got a little bit looping punches. It's a little bit style. The styles don't match up so well. And then Spence is just real. He's just big as shit. So I don't favor Bud in that particular fight.
Well, it's okay because I think Errol Spence at this point I don't think he'll fight him anyway. Honestly, because it feels like I don't think he.
Go
ahead. Well, everybody kind of stopped. Like everybody started walking and said, "Oh, my bad, you go." No, my bad. But that's good though. That shows what we should be doing. So you know what I mean? Like, oh no, please go. No, but no, I think that Spence, already knows he's unified, so he feels, well, hey, if I'm going to fight someone like Terrence Crawford, I want the lion's share of the money. So and he's not really respecting what Bud has already done. 2 Ring Magazine belts and shit like that, and it's just, I feel that a lot of those times, it's one of those times where those guys are, they should be fighting, but they're not. So if that's the case, what do you think of Canelo Spence? You think that fight can happen?
I think that's a cash fight, right? Like, can you imagine that fight at the Star, right? It's probably one of the most lucrative fights in boxing to make. I don't think Spence is going to win it though. Like the same reason, like I got to see Spence do something at 154. I got to see him do something at 160 before I start talking about. You know what I mean?
Just
all right.
168 and just think he's going to beat Canelo. That's wild.
Okay, Spence, Jamal Charlo.
I think that's a way better fight. Just because, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like the Errol Spence I just watched after Danny Garcia appears to me to be a different fighter. Like it used to be that he would bite down on his gum shield and walk through fire to get his mission accomplished. But against Danny Garcia, he took some backward steps and made some business decisions. So that kind of fight, I think, gives Jermell Charlo a better shot at it.
That's what I think. It's still a tight fight, but yeah.
Well, I wasn't talking about Jermell. I was talking about Jamal.
Jamal.
Oh, the big one. Oh man, that. I got to see it again. I got to see what he looks like at 154 before. Like Maul is also a big ass dude.
One's 160 and one's at 168, right?
No, one is
154 and 160.
160, yeah.
So they
but I think they all moved up together, right?
Jamal.
Yeah, because I don't like the idea. I didn't say Jermell because I don't like the idea of pitting like 2 fighters with the same coach. I don't like doing that shit. Like, because they're both with Derek James up there in Dallas. So, you know what I'm saying? It would be awkward.
You remember the Michael Spinks, Larry Holmes fight?
Yeah. See, it was kind of like, well, what are you going to do at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you really? What do you expect the trainer to do?
Mm-hmm.
Treat it like a fucking professional sparring session or what? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one guy would have to go get someone else in order to, like Deverenchenko and Danny Jacobs. They were both at the same time being coached by Andre Rozier. Okay, so what Deverenchenko? So he went with Danny Jacobs, which now I think he probably should have went with Deverenchenko because those guys split up. I don't know if you guys know, but they had an out over money. You know what I mean? So no, they're not no longer cool, but they've been beat each other through the Golovkin days. Okay, next question. Golovkin, Spence.
Golovkin in his last outing looked like hot garbage. Like he looks like he's balding. It's time to go. Like the 160 division is it's kind of base. It's kind of a wasteland.
It wouldn't be a wash though. It wouldn't be like Spence wouldn't wipe the floor with him, but I think Spence would like like
that. He does not want that body work. He's an old man. He's not trying to take that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, stop that.
Definitely. Yeah. That's one thing that comes to mind. I think of Spence Golovkin. I say, you know what? He's gonna hurt. He's gonna eventually hurt Golovkin to the body if Golovkin can't keep him back with that bazooka jab. One thing Golovkin does have, and I don't think he'll ever lose, is the jab.
The jab.
So if Errol Spence, being a southpaw, if he can't get rid of that jab will be a problem for him all night.
Yeah.
The kid's tough. So I see him eating that, but you don't want to keep eating jabs like that from someone like Golovkin. But it's the type of fight that I would want to see before Golovkin. I mean, he's almost 38. He's not 38. Is he 38 already?
39, isn't he?
He might be 38, turning 39. Let me check it out real quick because I know he's on up. He's getting long in the tooth.
I thought he was 38, 39, but could be wrong.
Well, he might be. He might be.
I thought he was 39, but yeah, he could. Hold
on a second. He is 38. He will be 39 April 8th.
So
damn, that's my cousin's birthday. God bless the dead. Okay, I won't forget that. Okay, but yeah,
that's weird. Isn't it?
Yeah. But
these are Triple G. When I watched his last fight, his punches. He's powerful though. I give it to the geezer, but I mean, Errol Spence would have him. I reckon. It's time for him to bow out soon. Triple G. What do you think is going to be his next move? Where did he say he was next? Who was he was next going to fight?
Golovkin?
Yeah.
Another loser.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
really?
It's another bum. It's another
Other
bum.
than the bum that he just fought the other day?
Other than him, he'll find another bum to fight. I mean, I think what Golovkin's doing, Golovkin's filling out that contract. He's fulfilling that contract.
And then
and then he's going to get out. I mean, but what's the sad thing about that is what he doesn't understand with the zone. He's going to have to fight somebody to withhold that. This is just like Canelo. Canelo had trouble with the zone because Canelo tried to pick fighters that he had no business fighting, and they weren't trying to pay him because of what's going on right now. While what's going on right now, we're gonna accept this fight from you. You're not gonna do that. We're not gonna give you $30 million to fight somebody that got beat by another guy that you ain't fighting.
Yeah.
No, that ain't gonna work. So that's the problem he had. So they still had to restructure his deal with the zone. You know what I'm saying? So he still wanted that money, but he had to bow down to some degree. He just got rid of Oscar De La Hoya in the process.
And it's Pacquiao. So the 40 million he wants, is that when he was talking about he's got the legacy fight coming? This was what he was stating, that he's got a legacy fight to announce. So was that the one that he's talking about that he potentially with Crawford?
That's who he wanted to fight. He wanted 40 million to fight Crawford, and Crawford get 10.
Do you think that's a bad deal?
No, I mean it's a great deal for him. It's a
good deal for Crawford. I mean, Crawford's never had bigger than 10 million as much as nowhere near to 10 mil. So,
okay, well let's look at it this way. We got two guys that were with top rank. Well, they're Terrence Crawford still top ranked, but Manny Pacquiao asked for $20 million to fight Terrence Crawford, like about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and it was
And Bob was like, "Nah,
too much. So he's
I'm not giving that to you. I'm not giving that shit to you. You're not getting that. It's not worth that money." But then later, Bob said later, after Manny conveniently left, he said the reason why I didn't give him that money because I didn't want to see him hurt by Terrence Crawford. Now, then a little back and forth between Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford. Oh, you were scared of me, and then Terrence was like, "No, I wasn't scared of you, dude. You didn't want whatever, right?" So little rumor back and forth.
Yeah.
Now he wants double the money.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So what? And in the times that you can see Bob Stingy Aram already being at the best of times, what makes him think he's going to be able to get 40 million? Not saying he doesn't deserve it, but I mean, you're not really going to get it, are you?
Yeah, I don't. No, I mean, you look at what Bob's doing. Bob's offering people $1 million.
He offered Timo what 1.5 the most, so it's going to perfect. Like by the time you pay off your tax and your team, you're left with nada.
Which I don't understand that.
He lost Floyd lowballing, right? Like
for $20 million. For $20 million.
Yeah, right. And but, often Porter 1 million. Like, but anywho, I think it is a good fight for Terrence. And if I had $50 million, to play with, and that's my fighter, and I'm trying to re-sign him, I would make the fight because I think you can make some more of that back. I think that you would wind up on top on aggregate in the negotiation with Spence, because that Pacquiao fight is definitely going to be pay-per-view, and that will definitely make him a Hall of Famer. Like, if you think Terrence Crawford's on the bubble of being a Hall of Famer now, that will definitely put him over the edge. Like, if, let's say, like him and Loma are coming up for the Hall at the same time kind of thing, right? And I definitely think that would increase his bargaining power, right? His leverage in the negotiation with Spence. So it seems like good business, in my view. Like, from the outside looking in, it seems like good business.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm Terrence Crawford, that's the fight that was originally going to happen. The only reason it was foiled was the pandemic. So, that would have been the big fight we'd have had a pleasure to see if it wasn't for all this stuff going on.
So
we had this whole, this semantic thing about abductive versus deductive reasoning, right? So with Bob Arum, he's already come out and said, "I lied to you yesterday, but I'm telling the truth today." So we can definitely talk about Bob Arum as a liar, right? So during the pandemic, he said, if the Pacquiao fight falls through, we're looking at Ugas, Thurman, Porter, or Kell Brook. Now, knowing Bob Arum, like we know Bob Arum, who do you think the fights he's going to fight? Hindsight has already answered the question for us, but I was pretty confident going in that Kell Brook was going to be the opponent as soon as he said that. So I'm not really down with this. The pandemic was the reason why the Pacquiao fight didn't happen.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So was that when he said in Kell Brook, was Kell Brook the last person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fair play. That, if you notice, that last person is always, because remember, you remember when Wilder said, he said Andy Ruiz, Charles Martin. I know he said Andy Ruiz, Dillian White. He said some other fighter. Then he said Hellenius.
Hellenius. It was.
They said Hellenius, right?
Oh yeah, right. His wish list. I'm like, if the other fight trilogy didn't happen, right?
Yeah, so if he fights Elite, so basically we are pretty much basing on how people word shit. They give you the desired people. We wanted to see
the one at the bottom. Is the one.
Bud fight to Keith Thurman. Dude, that'd be a hot fight. And I like Terrence. I love Terrence Crawford, but I like Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman can self-promote himself. He has the ability to sell, and people are sleeping on Thurman because Thurman because he made Errol Spence wait around forever, and then it didn't happen.
Yes, man.
So a lot of
as well.
So a lot of people, shit on Keith Thurman for that.
Yeah.
But like I explained to people, Keith Thurman was in a situation where Floyd didn't want him because Floyd didn't want to fight no one that competitive at that time and not get as much money. He'd rather fight Andre Berto. You
Yeah.
see what I mean? Because no, well, we're not going to do that. He doesn't have a big enough attraction. He doesn't have a big enough name. But then you're going to fight Andre Berto, though, a guy with 4 losses. But then yet, when people said, why don't you fight Sugar Shane Mosley back in 2008? He said, which one? Shane Mosley with 5 losses? Okay, well, you fought a dude with 4 losses. So now we're counting losses. You see what I'm saying? So when Keith Thurman was that guy that was calling out Floyd because he was what was he? The WBA regular? And then he went, and he opted.
Yeah, he was WBA regular.
Yeah,
So
when he called out Floyd,
Yeah, and he called out Floyd. And it was like, why not fight me? Okay, well, Floyd fought Andre Berto. But see, also, around that same time, you had a young novice fighter, soon to be prospect, Errol Spence. And Errol Spence sparred Floyd. So this is the backstory. He sparred Floyd. And, apparently he showed Floyd what he could do with his relentlessness and his style, right? And then Floyd was like, if you want to fight someone, he needs to fight Keith Thurman. So he basically threw that opponent at Keith Thurman as a roadblock. You see what I mean? So it wasn't the fact that Errol Spence was just so adamant on fighting Keith Thurman. No, he matchmake that in the sport, and especially he had his promoter's license anyway. Yeah. And he was like the son of Al Heyman. So go figure. That's all in it. Him, Al Heyman, Leonard Ellaby, those cats are, powerhouses when it comes to management and promoting fighters. So since he was also a fighter and he seen this dude was on his heels like that, he was like, you need to fight Errol Spence. But Errol Spence wasn't nowhere near his level at that time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Errol Spence was a guy that was a prospect. He was either a novice turned into prospect, right? And soon to be contender. But he wasn't there yet with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was already a champion. Keith Thurman is like 2.5 years over Errol Spence, maybe 3. Okay, so, and I'm not saying in age, I mean in progress, in their career. So, so a lot of people give Keith Thurman that, Keith, he ducked and this and that. Well, maybe he did for a while, but I think he did it for a reason. And he did it because he finally got his fight. He got the Pacquiao fight. Nobody else can say that. Yeah. Sean Porter can't say that. Danny Garcia can't say that. I don't think Danny really wanted it because he think he's comfortable. But, Spence wanted it. He didn't get it. Understand that was just,
and he lost to Pacquiao. So.
He lost to Pacquiao. But it was a split decision. He didn't like Pacquiao just beat the shit out of him. No, he hit Pacquiao, the old man Pacquiao. He hit the congressman. He was giving the congressman the business before, the congressman, gave him back some business of his own. But
do you think Pacquiao should call it a day while he's quick while you're on the
get out.
What do you think?
Get out.
Listen, I am not going to tell anybody to turn down $40 million if they can get it.
Yeah, if you can't get it, you can't get that. If that's not going to happen, do you reckon you should just?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think Spence Pacquiao is a huge fight at Cowboy Stadium. But if you're doing pandemic stuff, like let's say, for me, it makes sense that a government official has better things to do than to train, right?
I know.
But it also makes sense to me that there's not going to be crowds from what I can tell for the foreseeable future. So he's not doing anything but getting older and has other shit to do. So, I mean, when would it actually make sense? Like, let's say, I can't even tell a guy to turn down $10 million. He might be able to get $10 million right now. I
think he wants to try and raise as much money for himself, and probably he's doing the COVID. He's doing the. He wants to put a certain amount of money into a COVID fund.
Yeah.
But they're saying that he could have financial problems or troubles. You never know.
Yeah, Pacquiao's he's a charitable guy. I get all of that. I think that the most lucrative fight that that's available for him is Errol Spence at Dallas Cowboy Stadium with the crowd. Anything else?
Who wins? Who wins?
Oh, there, man, Pacquiao can get his old ass fuck tore up. Get out of here. Anyway, anyway, that's the separate issue. If he can find out, if you can make tens of millions of dollars to slap somebody around the ring, I'm not going to tell him to call it a day because I'm certainly not going to be paying the bills.
Does he want to go out losing? Like, just have one last cherry. Does he really want to go out losing? Maybe for the 40
man. All right. Roy Jones just quit like 2 years ago, right? Trevor Berbick, Muhammad Ali. Like, guys go out how guys go. And listen, as long as you're not going out like Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, that's not right. That's not.
Yeah, you know what's it? Hey, you can go worse, right? Adonis Stevenson, you can get worse, right?
But hey,
look, I don't know. How did Bernard Hopkins go out?
You fucking got knocked out of the ring.
He got knocked
out of the ring and then looked up at the ring like the ring did something wrong to him.
Yeah.
He looked up at the ring with everyone else like, what was that? No, that dude hit you and knocked you to shit. He knocked him out. He punched him out of the ring. And then Bernard has a bad habit of kind of leaning into shit, and I think he was trying to play that Evander Holyfield possum shit too long, but he was still getting hit. Check it out. No, just look at it right now. No, look at it right now.
I'm doing it now.
Yeah, look at him. Check it out.
I don't listen. As long like Cotto, you can go out like a Cotto Saddam Ali.
Yeah.
You get paid a bunch of money and go into the sunset, like whatever.
It's lost.
Yeah.
What is this? It's lost. Wait, I'm already laughing because I know this is going to be hilarity.
Okay, we got that other timestamp. It was on 8:20, so 3:08 and 8:20 on that interview. Smoke.
Hey, let's hear all the Wilder fans discredit or say that Wilder never said that the uniform was an issue, right? That's what we're listening to.
Yeah. So what it is, he's all right. Here we go.
First of all, let's talk about this costume. We got to get it out there, man. The costume. Tell me the story about the costume. Let's counterpunch it.
Okay, yeah. So when we talked that day, I was just pretty much stating that a lot of people talk about the costume. But my counterpunch to that was basically saying if everybody yelling costume, he said this, he said that, he making excuses here and there. What has he said? Because he never talked to Lance Palmer and came out and said that it was the costume, this, and the third. And like I said before, if anyone ever followed my social media, I show what happens before and after the fight. You know what I mean? Before this time, of course, with the sense of urgency that was going around at that time, I didn't have anything recorded at that night until after the fight when I did congratulate Fury. But in that locker room, there was only a handful of people. The majority of family and majority of PBC members. If there was any media members in there at the time, because I do know that it was excused out, and some couldn't even get in. So I know, like I said before, till the other day, Deontay was sitting in a chair. Of course, you see the pictures that was floating around with his wife, fiance around him, and she's kneeling and pretty much taking care of him, along with his kids. You know what I mean? And I was, like I said before, I was actually on the opposite side. So from that time to go to the opposite side of the room to get the cut in the ear that needed to be stitched up, to the bathroom, he didn't have any conversation with anybody outside of just our team. You know what I mean? Or anybody who was just with us. So, like I said before, the stories about the costume had came out that same night. And I was thinking to myself, like, when the hell did he do an interview? Right. Because if he did an interview, it must be two Deontays, because I know I was there. You know what I mean? I know I was there, and that was crazy. But like I told you, there was so many reports coming out before we even got back up to the room after the fight. You know what I mean? Like I said, my mom had called me and said, "Are y'all okay? Are y'all going to the hospital?" What are you talking about? We're not going to the hospital. We're going upstairs. But they just said on TV, y'all can go to the hospital. I'm like, no, we ain't going to the hospital. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. So the small circle of people that was surrounding you, that was impossible for anybody to say a costume excuse because no one interviewed anybody, right?
Yeah. Nobody interviewed, nobody interviewed Deontay. And like I said the other day about the costume, if you look at the last, the last 3-4 fights, Deontay has had heavy gear coming out, or that looks heavy, but I can attest to it because I've helped put on the costume for him. You know what I mean? It has had a little weight to it, but that wouldn't be the cause of him or cause of him for his legs look like, because it's been 3-4 fights previously, leading up to that fight where he had heavy stuff on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So why would just one fight make his legs look like this? That's retarded to me, at least.
You twerk low, but you're not on higher. Anything less, so you're not get the blyer. Contract you signed, you draw for your liar. Rip up that one, set it on fire. Only fans are fucking liars. We tell them, well, I'm pep talk, we shall. Well, I'm pep talk, we shall. Well, I'm pep talk, we shall. Well, I'm out. Gun. Hey, early lady Shan. Rem knowledge, straight from the Sun Cycle farm. Yo, Wilder, fix up yourself, yeah. Straight send from your girl lady Shan. Man pep talk,